What's up? It's Woody, and I'm here in the Capital One broadcast room with the Foo Fighters. Foo Fighters, guys, thank you for being here, being a part of Alter Ego 2021. Grateful to have you here and be able to actually celebrate live music again. How are you guys doing?
Doing all right. So good now that we're finally playing together again.
2020 was such a crazy year for everybody. Some people learned new skills, they took online courses or whatever, but overall, like, what was your biggest takeaway from 2020? And like, do you have a new outlook for 2021? Has it changed you that way?
Well, I mean, listen. My lasagna is killing it right now. I got a lasagna recipe, you guys. That's 2020 for me. Big lasagna. One big lasagna.
You had a lot of time to work on that lasagna.
That was a lot of lasagna.
It's good.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think as with anything, when something's taken away from you, you eventually realize how much you appreciate it. I don't think we've ever really taken the band for granted. We've always been super psyched to be in the Foo Fighters, but then when it goes away, you just really miss it. And I think everybody had a chance to hang out at home more than we ever have before, which is nice. I got to meet my kids for the first time. They're pretty rad. They're cool. Teenagers. The one thing we didn't do was write any music. Yeah, usually
We just finished making the record.
That's right. You know what 2020 was? It was a whole lot of phone calls that went like this. Can we put the record out yet? No. Can we put the record out yet? No. Can we please put the record out yet? Okay. And that, because we got to I think we all got to the point where we felt like, okay, we made this record. It was supposed to come out in July or something like that. But, we make these songs for people to hear them and sing along and get down to. And I thought, well, now is probably a better time than ever because everyone has a lot of time to get down to them at home. And so, I mean, a lot of this year was planning for 2021. So, world domination, that's what we're going for here.
But 2020, man, this is 25 years of the band, 25 years of Foo Fighters. I mean, did you take some time to look back or think about some of the highs and lows over that time? The last 25 years, man, a lot of really awesome moments. Any in particular that stand out to you guys?
Well, we actually did sit down at our studio with this big LED screen and look at 25 years of photos of the band. It was a little special. We called it Times Like Those. And that's kind of weird. All the different facial hair configurations, questionable fashion decisions.
Questionable amount of toes on my foot.
Yeah,
Only in the picture.
Rami has 6 toes.
I don't.
And they're webbed. I don't know. I don't spend too much time thinking about it.
Yeah, it was just that one time for me.
Yeah, that was kind of it. I mean, shit, at this point, we're just trying to get to Saturday, we're just trying to get to the end of the week. So looking back on stuff it's kind of funny. But, I mean, it's crazy. We started this band in 1994, early 1995, and it was just kind of almost like an excuse to just go have fun. It still is. But nobody ever imagined that it would last this long. So, and we've done a lot of stuff. So I always try to tell myself, if it were all over today, I'd be the happiest person in the world. But that's not necessarily true because I'd be happier if it kept fucking going. That's the truth. And at this point, we've been around so long, us breaking up as a band, that's like your fucking grandparents getting a divorce. It's so stupid. Why? You've been together that long? Fuck. It's true.
I mean, we're not even through the first month of the year. Foo Fighters starting it off with a bang. You guys released No Son of Mine on New Year's. How's the fan response been?
How's the fans' response been?
I didn't know we did that. New Year's Eve? That's
Yeah,
New
we got
Year's
we got new
Day.
song on the radio there, Pat.
I like that. I love that song.
Yeah. Well, you know, when we make records, I take the audience into consideration because I love it when we have new songs that we can play live, right? So at this point, we've been around so long that when we go to play a show, it's usually like 2.5, almost 3 hours long. It's maybe like 23, 25 songs, and like 18 of them have been singles over the years. So you're just playing like song after song after song that everyone's singing along to. And that's the coolest thing, when you get out on a stage and everyone's connected in that way. Like when you get like 60,000 people singing a song like My Hero or Everlong or Pretender or something like that, it's really powerful. And that doesn't happen too much in life, to have that awesome feeling. So whenever we're putting songs on a record, I'm like, oh my God, this one is gonna slay live. Like this one it's such a banger. I can't wait to get out on stage and do it, because 60,000 people are gonna go bananas and everyone's gonna sing that chorus. And when you do that for 3 hours, you walk away like, God damn, that was a real rock concert. That's cool. So a song like No Son of Mine, when we were recording it, I was just like, dude, this one it's a banger. Like when we bring that one to a big festival or some arena or something like that, the place is gonna go nuts.
And the fans have responded pretty good on the Facebooks. Our first single, Shame, Shame, they were like, so different, interesting. And then when No Son of Mine came out on the first, they were like, that's the Foo Fighters. It's so tough.
Yeah, it's funny, you know, the album, there's a lot, it has a kind of a wide range of dynamic and it's diverse in the tone of the songs. So when we recorded the song Shame, Shame, that was really like nothing we'd ever done before. And so I was like, well, we got to put this out first, because we've never done anything like that. And after 25 years of being a band, it's like, it's kind of what you have to do in order to keep going creatively, or just to be excited about something you're doing. So when we put out Shame, Shame, people are like, what the fuck? Like, that's the Foo Fighters? And that's the response I really wanted. I was like, that's exactly what I hoped would happen. Because I knew if we put out something like No Son of Mine, they'd be like, yeah, rock and roll. And they did. I think. I'm not on Facebook like Rami, but, you know.
I'm the only one
There you go.
scrolling.
Well, as much as you guys love your fans certainly love you. So, you know, if you're a Foo Fighters fan, you're just happy to have new material. But there's a whole new album. The 10th album, Menace at Midnight's finally coming out next week. But, I mean, you've been holding on to this album for a year now. Does it get weird? Like, do you start to overthink it and go back and redo certain things? Like, there's just less spontaneity, I guess, that way? I mean, have you been, you know, anxiously awaiting this moment?
Yeah, everybody's really excited. You know, I mean, we finished making the record almost exactly a year ago. Usually when we make a record, it's like, once you've mixed it and it's mastered, you immediately hit the road and then go on tour for a year and a half or 2 years or whatever it is. So, yeah, to like finish an album and then just sit on it felt really weird. Does Taylor call it the new old record or the old new record?
They both will.
Yeah, old new. It's our old new record, or our new old record. So, but a lot of people had asked me like, well, you had all that time. Did you want to change anything? I didn't. No, I was like, no, dude, that's the record. Let's keep it. But yes, I think it's kind of a relief.
See, one of my favorite things to do is actually talk to bands kind of off the record, because there's so many stories from on the road or different shows, experiences with other bands. I'm sure you guys have a ton of those too hot for TV or radio show moments. But Shame, Shame. Let's talk about that real quick. It hit #1 last month from the new album. You guys said you wanted to be the first song off the album because it's just departure from the typical sound, which, you mentioned is more of it's supposed to be a party album, right? Does it feel rewarding to get that song to number one?
Fuck yeah, it did.
There's nothing wrong with going to number one.
Hell no. I'm not too fucking proud to say. I mean, here's the way I look at it. At this point in the game, I've been a band for 25 years, and say we go to play some festival somewhere, and say we're headlining this festival somewhere, and there's all these younger bands, like hot new band, they got a hot new single, they're all over the place, they're like young new band, and and they're handsome and young and they're cool, and we walk up on stage and look like fucking Gandalf from Lord of the Rings. I'm proud of that. Like, I seriously, like, I'm totally into this aging process. I mean, to be honest, it reminds me, we did one of those bridge school benefit things for Neil Young. We've done a few of them, but one of them, the first one we did, I remember Neil Young, the famous artist, legend, did a benefit show every year called the Bridge School Benefit. And we went up there to do it. I grew up loving Neil Young, and I remember, like, seeing his road crew backstage. They were all in overalls, and they all had gray ponytails down to their butts. And I was like, I want to beat those guys. Like, still in the game. They look like fucking wizards. I was like, that's what I want to do. So to get a number one, like, this deep into the game, I'll fucking take it, dude.
Well, besides the number one song, the new album, getting back to being able to play some live music, definitely a highlight, Dave, you specifically, your epic drum battle between you and a 10-year-old girl, Natty, who's incredible. You and I have had a couple conversations about her and this back and forth between you two. You're working together on a song. Have you guys worked on that song at all?
First of all, that was maybe one of the most special parts of my entire twin, was getting my ass handed to me by a 10-year-old in a drum battle. She whooped my butt. But to be honest, and this is going back to releasing the record, this had a big influence or impact on the decision to release the record, because the way this drum battle thing happened, she's an incredible drummer. She's 11 years old. She's from England. She's got an Instagram page where she plays drums to other people's songs. I guess last year she started to become well known. I think she was on the Ellen show, whatever. She performed a Nirvana song, In Bloom. And Butch Vig, Nirvana's producer, sent me this Instagram thing. He's like, oh my God, have you seen this girl? And she's nailing the song. But except when she does it, when she does drum rolls, she screams. She's like, ah. And I'm watching it like, oh man, this kid's so cool. That's amazing. Like, clearly she's super talented. And then, kind of 3 or 4 months later, someone sends me this link, like, dude, have you seen this? And I watch it, and she's like, Dave Grohl, I challenge you to a drum battle. And she's playing Everlong. You know how many times I played Everlong? Once, when we recorded it in 1997. So I played drums on that track in 1997. I've never done it live. That's Taylor's job. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. I'm like, all right. Well, first of all, I'm like, oh, that's cute. And all my friends were like, no way, dude, step up. Represent, man. Like, you get called out by a 10-year-old. It's like, okay. And so I do it, and that shit's hard. It was Everlong. So I respond to her drum battle and then challenge her with something else, and she kicks my ass, and then she does this other thing, and then she kicks my ass. But that was at a time where, like, that was when just opening up your computer or looking at the internet was not a happy place, right? There were a lot of things going on in the world that made it hard to find 3 minutes of happiness. And what I realized was this little drum battle thing that we were having between each other served no purpose other than to bring joy. That was it. There's no winner or loser. I try to tell myself that because she kicked my ass. But the sole purpose of that happening was to make people happy. And that was the reward. Was that people for 3.5 minutes in their day, instead of reading about this shit or that shit or this war or that whatever, saw this kid kicking my ass in a drum battle. Millions of people watched this and it made them happy. I was like, that's what the fucking internet is for.
It was the only positive thing on the internet almost a whole year, but for sure.
I was like, this is great. This is what we should be doing.
Well, dude, the girl is good, man. I saw she did that. She did another drum cover with Slipknot, of a Slipknot song, using the double pedals, man. It's pretty impressive. My kids, they're 11 and 8. Neither one of them had anything close to a talent like that. So good for her. All right, we got to wrap up here in a second. But as the world starts to open back up, finally get to a place, a safe place where you can go out there and you can play anywhere in the world. I mean, you guys have some kind of plan? I've heard some bands talk about like, all right, well, when it happens, this is what we're gonna do. Do you guys have like a first place that you want to visit and do that show?
Like anywhere.
Right down there, yeah.
Like at Barbecue USA or whatever. It's right down the street. I don't give a shit. Fucking just hook it up. Let's go. Honestly. I mean, there's some pretty awesome exotic locations, but at this point, I mean, it could be the lobby of fucking E.F. Hutton. I don't give a fuck. Plug it in. Let's go.
Well, wherever it is, whenever it is. I mean, if you want to fly me there, like, I'll be there. But no, thank you guys so much. It's awesome. I know everybody's looking forward to being able to get back out and see you guys and see their favorite bands with other people and have that shared experience. But we are lucky enough here to be able to see the Foo Fighters right here tonight. It's a brand new set. Thank you guys for joining me here in the Capital One broadcast room and for being a part of the iHeartRadio Alter Ego 2021.
Thanks, everybody. That was awesome and weird and cool.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. Did you like that video? You can check out more over here. And don't forget to subscribe to iHeart right here. And if you're already a longtime fan, make sure you ring the bell down below so you don't miss a single video. Bye guys.